Yeah, blimey. Quite an eclectic career, I'd say. I qualified as a design engineer, so spent a lot of time working in manufacturing plants and heavy engineering and design workshops. Then I moved into manufacturing and onto FMCG operations, so fast-moving consumer goods. Then I somehow found my way into pharmaceuticals, which is where my workplace journey began, I guess, managing operations, working with research businesses, and that eventually led to technology and IP, which is where I find myself now over the last 6 or so years. And I guess all of that spans about 18 years for me. I've been in workplace and operations in one way, shape or another. My current role's quite a cool combination of all of my previous roles, really, in lots of ways. So yeah, quite eclectic, like I said, but lots of varied experience across industries. At the moment, quite a unique role. So it's a global role, a very small leadership team that we have based in all corners of the world. So I'm UK based, where our global headquarters is, and I'm responsible for design, technology and architecture and data, which probably needs a bit of an explanation. So from a design perspective, it's probably quite self-explanatory. I'm here and my team are here to define the future of what our workplaces look like, work with our project team and construction team and obviously the operations teams to make sure that when we deliver the new spaces, and we deliver a lot in a fast-growing business, that they're done in a forward-leaning way and they're done kind of in partnership across the business. The technology side of things is really where we've seen transformation over the last 6 years, bringing on lots of new platforms, tools, and really creating some of those insights to help make more strategic decisions around real estate, around performance of our workplace and around engagement, for example. That's a big part for me that I've invested a lot of time in, partnering with our technical groups and our IT groups, and to really forge more of an effective workplace delivery for ARM. And then finally, the architecture and data, which I said probably needs a bit of an explanation. It's not architecture in the traditional sense, it's not the physical kind of structural design of buildings, it's more architecture around workplace, and it's a term that we use in the industry quite a lot. It's how the business is actually built, more of the strategy, how we operate, organisational effectiveness are all things that we look at as a team. But also the data and the insights that we can bring from all these great platforms and from around the business to kind of shape how we deliver workplace. So yeah, I mean, it's a really long description of the role, but those are the responsibilities. So I lead a really small team, about 6 of us, technical architects, ex-building architects, as I've referred to them, technology project managers and embedded IT resource. So quite unique. And I left the head of facilities role in the same business to join and spin up this new team within the division. So a lot of it, in fact, all of it's done in partnership with the operations teams that I left a couple of years ago. Again, ARM's a super interesting business in the way that we grow and how innovative we are and how kind of collaborative. So we're always challenging the norm. We're always looking at redefining how the business should look, how the operations should look, how our workplaces should look and operate. So yeah, redefining the workplace after the 2 years and 18 months now that we've had with COVID has been quite a journey. And really trying to deliver the disruption that COVID has caused to the workplace model whilst not disrupting the business. I'd say that's the biggest challenge. Obviously, like most businesses, the kind of effectiveness and productivity is of number one importance, but even that dynamic has really changed, redefining what productivity means for ARM when we're in all sorts of corners of the world. So yeah, bringing that new model through, going through all of the engagement across the business around redefining that model, and then doing it in a practical way where the services are going to work effectively, and we're upskilling people in order to deliver some of these new ways of working, and we're investing in platforms to deliver some new employee experiences. It's kind of endless, the evolution, and for me the real biggest challenge is trying to take what is quite a traditional kind of industry approach to workplace and evolve into more of an experimental workplace service, doing that in a much more agile way. Sounds very easy when you say it, but actually there's a kind of embedded traditional approach to workplace, which needs to adjust, and we're just starting off on that journey, really. Yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to finally getting together. So really, I want to reflect on, I guess, a bit of a historical trend around what the workplace industry has evolved to over the years, over my career, maybe as a very short time window, and more importantly, where it's going. You know, testing some of the disruptions that we've felt over the last 2 years, where they might take the workplace industry, where it might take the physical workspace as well. Some of the learnings we might take on longer term, and really looking forward to talking to some peers and colleagues and testing some theories, really. I think that's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, it's been interesting, and I guess some of it is, you know, based on my role and how I've maybe grown into new roles and moved sideways over the course of my career. But I think when I initially joined workplace into facilities, it was very siloed. You know, it was traditional construction, real estate and surveyors, and then the facilities and operation, then hard and soft services, and some of these slightly older terms that still exist today, in fairness, but it was very siloed in the way it was structured. You fitted into one or another of those boxes, and I saw that quite gradually kind of evolving over time to become more of a joined up approach. There's a huge focus on safety, I think, in the first 5 to 6 years, and there still is now, but I think the safety industry was really maturing at the time that I joined facilities, and then that evolved into the environment and sustainability, which of course has gone on leaps and bounds and is a huge part of what we bring as of today. And I think more recently it's been around experience and employee experience, and really joining forces with, you know, technical departments and IT teams and people and HR teams across the business to define what workplace is. And then even more recently, and obviously short term with COVID, it's you know, why workplace? You know, that's the question for businesses, which I've stolen from a book I'm reading at the moment. But why? Redefining what the workplace is. Why are we here? What is our model? And really starting to challenge the norm like we've never done before. I know it's been said before by others, but it's always been an evolution through my career of what facilities is, and, you know, bringing in new skills and adding to that, becoming a much richer service. But now it's more of a revolution in terms of what workplace and experience we're trying to create. And like a lot of people, like a lot of businesses, we still don't know. We've still got to go through that early experimentation as we return to the office and adjust and pivot from there, really. Yeah, I think everyone's experience and journey is different. That's been mine, you know, in the industries I've been in. And I think the fascinating thing is all of those things that I've picked up over the years have all stayed with me. I don't think I've lost anything. If anything, it's, you know, every day is a learning day in workplace. And every year you kind of aim to add something else to your repertoire. And I think that's the one. I don't give advice very often, but that's the one piece of advice I give to people coming into the industry is, you know, just be hungry to learn and say yes to every opportunity, and really build out your experience, because in workplace, in facilities, it comes, it will come up eventually. No skills lost in workplace. Yeah, apart from getting out of the house and out of my office in the garden, I think I'm the type of person. My approach is always to think of new theories and new ways of working and kind of test them. And no better way of doing that than discussing them with peers and people going through different experiences but the same challenges. So really testing some of those thoughts and theories and learning from others as well. Like I said, learning every day is a learning day. And no better way than talking to peers and people in the industry. I think temperature checking, as I would call it, where people are at with different things as well, and different trends we're seeing maybe coming up over the horizon really excites me. You know, and also just talking to people, learning from their experiences, what they're going through, and perhaps some products or concepts that are landing really well in different businesses. yeah, for me, it's just a learning day, right? It's talking to people, testing their concepts and ideas as well. And like I said, getting out of the house and getting the dog away from my ankles. I think the last 18 months for me is given me extra time to think and if you like, do a bit of research, because I've needed to redefine where we go as a business. And there's an inundation of good information, good research material out there. It's easy to get lost, but understanding what's practically usable and helpful, and learning from how people have kind of experimented themselves is really invaluable for me. I know the last couple of conferences I went to, I picked up on a couple of great projects in some very different industries that I didn't expect to. So nice to pick up those kind of surprising nuggets as well when you're away at events. Ooh, well, I think that's for everyone to define, really. I think for the industry that I support and I work within in terms of ARM, I think we've seen an exponential growth over the last 2 years as people are buying infrastructure and buying hardware and buying technology, and we're a beneficiary of that. And in terms of our revenue, we've now shipped 220 billion chips, which is an eye-watering number. So yeah, more growth, more innovation, different products, different partnerships, and I do think closer to home and kind of tying both the industry I work in but the industry I deliver in together. I think the technology that we deploy through proper collaboration experiences is going to see a huge rocket in investment and new products on the market over the next couple of years. And I think I can support that from the core business and the engineers actually creating these products and supporting them through partnerships, but also using them in the workplace, embedding them in the workplace and making sure they're delivered well. So yeah, I think it's going to be exciting to see where hybrid and where a more remote model ends up. I honestly think it's different in every circumstance, in different geographies, in different industries, in different businesses, different demographics. The adoption is going to be different. So I don't believe in one size fits all, but I do think the ability to experiment right now and over the next year or so, whilst the world is settling into their new circumstances, is critical, because you learn much more from experimentation than anything else, in my experience.